Hi, today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to cut up some very common vegetables and fruit. Tomato is a fruit, but that's not the point. Anyways, before we start, you want to make sure you sanitize your work surface and everything you're working with. Put your hair up, get your apron on, wash your hands, and get ready to cut! For this demonstration, I have 2 potatoes, 1 tomato, a carrot, a clove of garlic, some spinach, and then we have a bowl for our leftovers, and then a bowl full of water to put the potatoes in once we're done cutting them. I got the knives and cutting utensils that I will be needing, and then I have my cutting board with the cloth underneath it to steady it. Today I'm going to start by showing you how to cut a carrot 2 different ways that are commonly seen with carrots. First, you want to begin with picking up a peeler, and you want to peel your carrot into your discard pile, basically. And then you want to turn it around and get the other edge. Okay, so we have a cleanly shaven carrot. And as you can see, mess sometimes happens, but as long as you're cleaning up as you go, it can be inevitable sometimes. You cannot really always prevent the mess from happening. You can take preventative measures, but it won't always work out. So just make sure you're cleaning as you go. So the first cut I'm going to be showing you guys is the diagonal or bias cut. First, we're going to start off by cutting off the edges and putting our friends in the discard pile. I'm only going to be using half of our carrot to show you guys, so I can use the other half for the second cut. So what you want to do is you want to angle your knife at an angle so that you can get a diagonal cut carrot. And you want to continue with the same, as close as you can, same consistency of thickness within your carrot. And you want to hold the carrot still so it's not rolling, because then the shape of the carrot will alter. And I'll explain, I'll show you what that means. The angle is going to look like this, and if you were to roll it a little bit, move it around, and do the same cut, the piece might come out looking like this, which is inconsistent and incorrect. So make sure you're keeping the firm hold on the carrot to keep it at the same angle. There you have it, some nice, even, diagonally cut carrots. Moving on to our next vegetable, we're going to be using a potato. I'm going to show you how to do a medium dice and a julienne using a potato. We're going to start with the potato off, how we started the carrot off, by peeling it. So you want to peel off the skin. And in some cases, people keep the skin on, which is perfectly fine. You just have to make sure you're washing it thoroughly to get all the dirt and grime off of it. Okay, pop it in there while you clean up, and then rinse it, and we'll get started. Starting with a julienne, I'm just going to cut our potato in half, so you can use half of it for the julienne and half of it for the medium cube. Okay, so put off this one, or put off one of your halves into the water to make sure it's staying fresh. And we're gonna start the julienne. So what I like to do is start by cubing it, and you want to make sure you are okay. So this is what the beginning part looks like. It's not completely even, as you can see back here, it's still circular. So I'm going to continue to attempt at making it even, okay? And it's a process of trying to get it to the correct shape you want it to be. Once you've got it, you are able to create the best cuts. So once you have it, it's not perfect, it's really not, but it's a learning process. You have to continue to just practice at it until you get it to the right cube that you want. But the next step for the julienne is you're going to cut thin, layers of the potato, so that you can begin the next portion. Then I'm just going to do 2 at a time to make sure that it stays pretty consistent. So then you're going to cut that same width, but just going down again. Okay, and then what you'll be left with is a julienne. What we're going to be using is a medium dice. So we're going to grab the second half of the potato, and we are going to do the same thing we did with the last one and square it off. So, we're going to put our leftovers in the bowl, and you want this, our medium dice, to be 1/2 inch. So, I'd say about there, and this is too small, so I'm going to leave that over there. And so the next food we're going to be cutting with is a tomato. So since I'm not going to be peeling it, I'm going to rinse it off. The tomato, I'm going to show you how to do a small dice. So first what we're going to do is cut it in half. Don't use pressure when cutting softer foods, because it will just squash the food. Just lightly cut, and let the sharpness of the knife cut the closer look, we have the tomato cut in half, and I'm going to start cutting the sections. Okay, so this is smaller than our medium dice. As you can see, there we go. And then what we're going to do is cut this way very carefully. And gently. Then collect it again and do the same width down. Okay, and what you should be left with, pardon that, is a small dice. Next what I'm going to show you is just wedges. It's pretty simple. You want to go in at an angle. And there you have it. The next thing I'm going to be showing you how to do is mince garlic. So this is my clove of garlic, and I'm going to show you how to get this into a fine mince. I first start by cutting off the little ends, which aids you, the chef, in peeling the skin off. You want to make sure you get off as much skin as possible to ensure that your garlic is completely naked. Now what you're going to do is slowly and very smallly cut into the garlic. So far it looks like this. And then you want to very carefully cut into it like this from the side, very carefully, very slowly, watching your fingers. And then you're going to come in from the top, similar to the small dice we used with the tomato, and cut very close to each other. Okay? I'm going to redo that this time, but without. So I want to ensure I use all of the garlic that I have available. And what you'll have left is a mince. Last and final cut I'm going to be showing you guys is the chiffonade. And I'm using spinach today. What you want to do first is rinse off your greens. You can use this with basil or spinach like I'm using. And it's going to end up with thin strips. So first, let's go rinse our greens. So So I have the leaves I'm going to be cutting. You can normally just, wash the whole bowl, but to minimize waste, I'm only using a few just to demonstrate. Okie dokie. Now that they're rinsed, we'll take them over to the cutting board. Okay, so as you can see here, we have our leaves ready, and what we're going to start by doing is stacking our leaves. I always like to take the two biggest ones and have them on top and bottom, like the pieces of bread of a sandwich. So I get the smaller ones and just layer them into each other, and the final one will go on. So then what you're going to want to do next is roll this baby up, like this. So you have a roll of the leaves. Okay, so then what we're going to do is hold it there. I'm going to take our knife, and slowly, I'm going to take these off because I don't, okay. Slowly cut through the layers of leaves. And this cut is going to result with you having thin strips of leaves, basil, spinach, whatever you are using in that specific recipe. Unfortunately, our time is up, and I have taught you a few of the basic beginning cuts that you can use in the kitchen. What you want to do with this is either compost or put into a stock your leftover potatoes or carrots, and you want to either use the potatoes you've diced, or, as I said, compost. I'm going to use them in a stock. And then you sanitize your station and you're ready to go home. Thanks for watching, guys.